And now, an analysis of the operational situation on the Kupiansk and Lyman fronts. The situation here is traditionally tense to the limit. On the Kupiansk front, the enemy throughout the day, they tried to advance towards our positions 5 times. In the areas of Zakhidny, Kucherovka, Petropavlivka, and Zarizovoy, the aggressor has also increased the number of attacks to 12 on T, the Lyman front. With air support, they attacked near the settlements, Zeleny Gai, Borovskaya, Andreevka, Kopanki, Verdoklebova, Makevka, Grekovka, and Ivanovka. 9 clashes are currently ongoing. And now, Kursk region, the armed forces of Ukraine are attacking from 3 directions. And by the way, an entire battalion of North Koreans has already been destroyed. And now Kim's soldiers are hiding in the homes of civilians using them as human shields. At the same time, there is information that the armed forces of the Russian Federation are preparing their counterstrike in the Kursk region. We have gathered exclusive information about what is happening on the territory of the Russian Federation. In fact, we present to your attention
a fiery start to the year. The offensive of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Kursk and Belgorod regions continues. In Kursk, for example, it was very loud again. Russian propagandists claim that the explosions related to the operation of the Russian air defense are due to a drone attack. There was a massive attack from several directions at once. Drones also attacked 3 settlements in the Belgorod region. On January 5th, the armed forces of Ukraine launched a new offensive in the Kursk region. The defense forces unexpectedly attacked the Russian occupiers in several directions.
The situation under Sudzha on December 5th. January, it's heavy. The enemy has broken through.
The hysteria in Russian social media is an opportunity for the Ukrainian defense forces to advance directly towards Hilhiv and accordingly Rylsk. And this accordingly, in the opinion of the Russians, will lead to significant territorial losses and consequently the expansion of the presence of the armed forces of Ukraine.
According to the Institute for the Study of War, Ukrainian forces have advanced in the fields to the southwest and south of the Berdyn hamlet in the Kursk region and have entered the southern part of the settlement. There are significant tactical successes of our defenders there.
Key wins by our troops focus on intensified Ukrainian defense efforts of our defenders. In addition, we should mention that the second direction where the Ukrainian defense forces have intensified their efforts is in the area of the settlement of Leonidovo. It is located southeast of Korenevo. It's in the area of the settlement of Leonidovo. It is located southeast of Korenevo. In addition, the Ukrainian defense forces carried out an intensified mechanized attack in the area of Putkarny, which is to the east of Sudzha. So as we can see, the main task of the Ukrainian defense forces is to expand the foothold of Ukrainian troops in the Kursk region. Russian social media themselves are already confirming the presence of Ukrainian defense units in Cherkasky, Porekhne, Martinovka, and Mikhailivka. These settlements are located to the northeast of Sudzha.
According to Russian channels, armored vehicles, demining machines, and electronic warfare systems are involved in the offensive, which are successfully countering Russian drones.
The offensive of the armed forces of Ukraine, specifically the mechanized groups, is carried out with the support of electronic warfare systems, which effectively nullify the ability of Russian troops to strike on Ukrainian armored vehicles using IPV drones. The only thing that can work are drones on fiber optics.
The Russians definitely did not expect this attack from the Ukrainian forces, so the recent events caught the enemy off guard.
According to the Russian occupation forces, they doubt that this is the main direction of the strike. More is expected. They doubt that this is the main direction of the strike. More is expected. Let's say the expansion of the presence of the Ukrainian defense forces on the territory of the Russian Federation at several potential points. It also mentions the junction of the Kursk, Belgorod, and Bryansk regions. The possibility of a breakthrough by the Ukrainian defense forces in other regions of the Russian Federation is being discussed. This concerns the Belgorod and Bryansk regions of the Russian Federation. We're talking about the Belgorod and Bryansk regions.
Nevertheless, Kadyrov's group, led by Aptia Laudinov, in their latest address, claims that the situation is under control.
I think that the enemy may continue to try to push through here, but I believe they have no chances, because the guys are really fighting heroically.
There is objective control data that confirms the destruction of 4 armored vehicles with personnel from the Akhmat unit. Armored vehicles. With the personnel of the Akhmat unit, this is what is being kept silent. Abdiel Loginov.
Meanwhile, North Korean soldiers in the Kursk region are hiding in the homes of Russians who are being forced out into the streets. How events will unfold in the Kursk region will be shown by time. One thing is for sure, it won't be easy for the Russians.
And now an analysis of the operational situation on the Kurakhove and Vuhledar fronts. The enemy continues their military terror. And here, fierce battles are taking place in the Kurakhove direction near Serebryanka, Andriivka, Petropavlivka, Kurakhove, and Dakhne. Throughout the day, our defenders repelled 16 enemy attacks and 4 more clashes are ongoing. In the Vremivka direction, the aggressor attacked our defenders' positions 7 times. In the areas of the settlements of Yantarna, Constantinople, and Razliv, 1 clash is still ongoing, Timirovka and Velika. Novosilka were hit by an airstrike. Also this week, the Russian occupation forces stormed the positions of the Ukrainian forces in Chasiv Yar and Toretsk. The invaders destroyed some positions of the armed forces of Ukraine. At the same time, everyone understands perfectly well the colossal strategic significance. Destroyed, tormented, wiped off the face of the earth, the Sentry Ravine. This city cannot fall under the control of Putin's criminals. At the same time, the enemy is conducting constant assaults, alternating them with drops of extremely powerful aerial bombs. How are they holding the defense in the very heart of the war in Chasiv Yar? Our defenders. This is exactly what the next story by TSN correspondent Alexander Zahorodny is about.
The reconnaissance drone of the 24th Separate Mechanized Brigade unemotionally records the dead quarters. What is striking is not only the scale of the destruction, but also the obsessive desire of the Russians to seize these ruins. Almost a year of constant assaults, and for the first time in history, they have constructed a mesh tunnel over the entire road between Bakhmut and Chasiv Yar, which is more than 10 kilometers.
The sky is swarming with drones, and the main road leading here is now completely covered with nets. It creates a mesh corridor inside of which even a bird can't get in.
In this propaganda piece, the Russians reveal yet another big secret about why they are losing thousands of their fighters in the battles for Chasiv Yar. Yet thousands of his fighters?
We're just a little bit away from the center, where, by the way, the Joseph Kobzon Museum is located, and nearby is the hospital where the people's artist was born.
Constant assaults are alternating with the dropping of extremely powerful aerial bombs. How can they hold the defense in Chasiv Yar? Our fighters. We're heading to this city, of course, at night and accompanied by fighters who bring, as they say, supplies to the front lines.
Gasoline, trench candles, water.
We're heading to the roof with the rap music, but also with the lights on. Enemy drones often drop mines on the road. It's better to see them and avoid them. And here, just a few hundred meters from the front line, we're racing with our headlights off and at maximum speed. A few minutes to unload, and then everyone hides deep underground. At this position of the 24th Brigade, there are 2 commanders, Kyla and a lawyer. Both are carefully watching the video feed from the drones and keeping in touch with the fighters. The enemy has recently chosen a new tactic. They constantly attack in small groups, often consisting of 2 assault troops. All these groups need to be identified and destroyed. They rely on their equipment. All these groups need to be identified and destroyed.
On their equipment, it's still hard for them to reach us. But it's the infantry, you know, they just give the impression of having endless resources. For them, losing a day is nothing. Unit.
The main question for the lawyer is, will the 24th Brigade be able to hold Chasiv Yar under this enemy pressure?
Right now, Avdiivka is already in ruins. The city is gone, just like what happened with Bakhmuta. The price of the issue, if for every square meter Russians continue to pay 10-15 of their good Russians, we will keep it.
If they ask us for such a price, I don't see the point. The lawyer, a former combat medic, knows well the cost that this war demands. Dozens of people have passed through me who could have become casualties.
Dozens of people have passed through me who could have become casualties. If someone has a poorly assembled first aid kit, the combat medic gets a slap on the wrist. If someone doesn't know how to apply a tourniquet, they won't make it to the position.
And the commander saved Sanich's life when he was already saying goodbye to it. And the enemy drones were supposed to finish him off.
I was injured and my partner had broken legs.
But there was a feeling that everything could end badly.
Yes, of course it would have ended, but then, as the commander told us, there's a good plan. We're on Baga. In general, that's how we were saved.
Military rules require that the wounded are evacuated only on armored vehicles. The lawyer shows his, it doesn't even have a windshield. This is a homemade buggy that makes its way into hell every time. In this basement, the fighters are resting and drying their clothes while the commanders are waiting to give the order to move to the front lines. Russian stormtroopers are once again going to look for the Kobzon Museum. Where to?
We still don't know where, for the mission.
But the defenders of the Sentry Ravine know for sure that this party of occupiers will also go straight to Kobzon's concert.